Hey there guys, my name is Sills. I'm a licensed realtor here in the Central Florida area. And today, well, I've been doing a few videos on how to build wealth through real estate. As real estate agents, I'm a real estate agent. I'm also a real estate investor. And as an investor and an agent, I like to educate my client and customers on how to build wealth through real estate. Most everyone that owns real estate knows that real estate tend to go up, right? You tend to build equity. Even in a down market, when the values go down, if you hold on to the property, the values will eventually go back up. And that was proven to us back in 2008 when the market crashed. But the one thing that was happening in 2008 and the one thing that was going up in 2008 when the market crashed was rents. Rents were going up. People were looking to rent. People were leaving their property because they were like, the values are going down. Why do I need this property? And they're going to go rent somebody else's property. Guess what? I was one of the person you were renting from. And because we held on to the property and the property was being rented, that rental income was able to cover the cost of the property and also realize some profit. So that allowed us to hold on to the property and wait for the value to go back up. That's what I want for you. If you have a home and you have equity in your home, you may want to think about pulling some of that equity out to invest in real estate. Now, what do you want to invest in? What should I invest in, right? You would invest in rental properties. It could be a single family home. It could be a duplex. It could be a 3-family, a 4-family, an apartment building, whatever it is. You start from one and build it all the way up. It's just like Monopoly, right? But we're playing it in real life. Real estate investing is really lucrative because this is one great way of building wealth, right? Building wealth, affording things that you could never afford for you and your family. Being able to send your kids to college without having to take out crazy student loans, right? Who doesn't want to build wealth? So real estate allows you to do that if done right. If you're working with a real estate agent who is also an investor, this will give you an upper hand because guess what? They have been there, done that. They have been through the process. They know exactly what to look for, how the numbers should work. You should also get a financial advisor and you should also do your own homework, but investing in real estate is phenomenal. I have customers that have bought 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10 different properties from me over the course of time in 20 years since I've been doing real estate. And it's been very lucrative for them because this is what I'm like, if you bought a house, let's say for $150,000 5 years ago, right? How much would it be worth now? Way more than $150,000, right? So let's say I have $50,000 or $100,000 in equity in this property and I live in it. One of the things I could do is pull the equity out, not all of it, but some of it, and invest in another property. Now, nobody necessarily want to be a landlord, right? Oh my God, I want to be a landlord. The tenants are not going to pay the rent. What am I going to do? Which is cool. Because guess what? We're in a crazy short-term rental market right now, right? More and more people are opting not to rent for the hotels, right? They want to rent a home. They want to rent a Airbnb. Now, Airbnb is a short-term rental, right? That's what a Airbnb is. So if you're going to rent a Airbnb, you're renting a property to use as a short-term rental. Short-term rental means you're renting the property for 30 days or less, right? So you're renting for a week, a few days, that becomes a short-term rental. So all hotels are in the short-term rental business. And if you have a property, your property gets into that short-term rental business because in our area, you have to license the property as a hotel, believe it or not. So if you had a home in the Central Florida area and you want to use it for a Airbnb, which is actually short-term rental, you have to go license it. And the same licensing that the hotels get to operate as a hotel is the same license you would need to operate your property as a short-term rental property. And I'm pretty sure this goes to most of the states. I'm pretty sure that's the case, right? You also have to pay hotel and lodging taxes. Just like the hotels have to pay hotel and lodging taxes, you have to pay hotel and lodging taxes because you're really of an hotel. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm from Jamaica. I eat my H's. I'm supposed to be saying hotel, and I'm eating the H's, but you know what I'm talking about, right? So it's a short-term, short-term rentals is what is now called Airbnb because Airbnb has done such a phenomenal job in the short-term rental space that people now say Airbnb. And if you say short-term rental, they have no idea what you're talking about. So you could do that. You could have a property for short-term renting. Now, the thing is with investment properties is they do two things for you. You get income from them every day, every week, or every month, right? That's one thing they do. And the second thing they do is they're building equity. So if you bought this property and you're renting it out as a long-term to a long-term tenant monthly, or even in the Airbnb space or Booking.com or Verbio, anything in the short-term rental space, you're still getting income from this property and you're also still building equity, right? Whereas with your own personal home, you're only building equity because you live there, so you're not making income from it. That's one of the reasons why Robert Kiyosaki says your home is a liability. And the reason why he says that is because you're not making income from it. So his premise is buy an income property first and use the income from that property to buy your home. Which way the income from that property will be paying your mortgage. You're not paying your mortgage from out of your pocket, right? Because he believes, and I love him, I'm a big Robert Kiyosaki fan. His premise is, and I'm talking about the business side of him, right? I'm a big business side of him fan. His premise is, whatever you have to take from your pocket to pay for, that is considered a liability, right? So if you're paying your own mortgage from out of your own pocket, then that becomes a liability. So the whole idea is to get assets to pay for all your liabilities, right? So if you had an income property and you're making profit from it, that could pay your expenses. That could pay your grocery for the month, that kind of thing, right? That's what that really means. So investing in real estate, like for instance, we're taught that our first property, like, you know, you grow up, you're in the 20s, and your first property, you want that to be your primary residence, right? The first property you buy. But if you reverse that, which is what I did, and your first property becomes a investment property, and let's say you bought a duplex. Let's say it's your first property, you bought a duplex, you're going to live on one side, you're going to rent the other side out. Hopefully the mortgage from that side is going to be able to pay the mortgage for the entire duplex, so you're not paying any mortgage. So guess what that gives you the ability to do? That gives you the ability to start saving for your next property. And on top of that, it also is going to start to appreciate as you sit on it, right? So as you live in it and doing nothing with it, you're getting income from one side, and that allows you now, in 2 or 3 years from now, to buy another duplex, or maybe a single family home next time, or maybe a 4-family home, or whatever it is. You could buy another rental property. Also, for the short-term rental space, remember that any property that you use for short-term rental, more than likely you could also use it as a long-term rental as well. Just make sure that when you're purchasing the property, if it's in an HOA, you know that you're able to do short or long-term in that property. You don't want to just have a property just for short-term rental, because any number of things can happen. You want to have flexibility, right? If one day you decide, you know what, I don't want to do short-term rental anymore, I'm tired of the short-term rental thing, I just want one fixed tenant, then you could also do that. Here's a space that nobody, that has a lot of opportunity and nobody's really doing it. You know what that space is? A lot of people are looking to rent for 1 to 6 months for many, many different reasons. Maybe they're relocating to an area. Maybe their home got destroyed and the insurance company is trying to find somewhere to put them. Maybe they're moving to an area, but they don't want to buy as yet, so they want to live there first. And now COVID has opened up a whole other different opportunity, whereas people could work virtually and have their kids being schooled virtually as well. So now they don't need to be stuck in one place. So they might decide, you know what, I'm going to take a trip to California for 3 months. I'll be in California, I could still work from California, and my kids will still be in school, but we'll be in California for 2 or 3 months. That's a space that's becoming open up, guys, and nobody has conquered it yet, right? Airbnb took over the whole short-term rental space, but this space is more of a short, long-term space, if that makes sense, where they want to come and they want to rent a fully furnished, functioning home for a month, 2 months, or 3 months. Even the snowbirds that are coming from the colder area like Canada, Europe, sometimes England, right? Even the colder states, if like in Florida, we have people coming in from New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, Chicago, all those colder states, and they want to stay for 3 months. We call them snowbirds. They want to be here January through March. Guess what happened while they're here? They don't just come here and be here by themselves, guys. These couples, they're coming down as a couple, they're renting a whole 3, 4, 5 bedroom house, and then their family members come to visit them while they're here. This is what's happening, especially in Central Florida. right? They come down for 2 or 3 months, for 1 to 3 months, and the family members come down and visit them while they're here, and they want to have an accommodation to accommodate their family members. So there's a huge rental space opening that you could rent. You could rent a fully furnished functioning home to someone for a month, 2 months, or 3 months, and you're still not tied into a long-term rental. And because they're renting a furnished home with all utilities included, and you're giving them all the utilities and everything to function in this home, they're willing to pay more money. So you would be able to make more money from someone renting from you for 2 or 3 months than you're going to be making from someone renting monthly in an unfurnished home. But it depends upon what kind of liability you want to take on. So you have both options, but you could do either or. So my job as a real estate agent and also as an investor is to educate my clients, my customers, and anyone that come across me that has any interest in real estate, that you don't just have to buy one house, sit on the one house, work your tail off. At the end of 30 years, you only have equity from that one house. Here's the scenario. I'm going to end this video soon because it's getting kind of lengthy. But consider this. What if you bought a house when your first home at 25 years old? What if you bought your first home at 25-year old? And what if you bought your second home at age 30? So 25, you bought one home. Age 30, you bought another home. At age 35, you bought a third home. So now you have 3 real estate properties, whether it be a home, a duplex, whatever it is. 35 years old, you have 3 properties, right? At this point in the game, you're like, wait a minute, I'm building all this equity. I could start buying a home each year, right? Because all I got to do is take equity from one property and buy one home. So let's say at the age of 35, when you have 3 homes, you decide to start buying a property every year or every 2 years, right? Now think about this. At the age 60, because your first property was at the age of 25, at age 60, how many homes are you going to have free and clear if all you did was pay the monthly mortgage, which you're not paying, because the income you're making from all these properties that you're buying is what's paying for that. So how much equity you think you'd have, or what do you think you'd be worth if you had 3 properties at age 35 and start buying a property every 2 years until age, let's say 60 or even 50? I don't know. How wealthy do you think you'd be if you were to do that? I wish I had done that. Right now I'm like, duh, you should have done that, right? Maybe I could still do it. I want way more properties, right? So that's the whole idea, right? And what happens is when you have equity in your property and you see a deal, it's easy for you to go get that deal. So I'm not talking about buying properties all at fair market value. I'm also talking about buying deals like distressed properties, properties in foreclosure, right? Properties in probate. There's all kinds of different distressed property sales. Maybe it could be a property where the person can't take care of it anymore and they just have to sell it, right? And you come in and save the day, right? So you're also helping people. So that's what I mean when I say building wealth through real estate. You could literally build your wealth through real estate because the market will always come back, and real estate is also tangible. You can literally touch it and feel it. So if the equity is not in it, you will get the rental income from it. The whole idea is to get both from it, right? Again, my name is Sandy. You can reach me at 407-791-4713. All our information is on the bottom right here. Our goal is to help you. Give us a call. We're going to start doing webinars as well on building wealth through real estate, because this is a market that I think a lot of people could build wealth through. And I'm not a gambler on the stock market. Maybe you're not. Maybe you can't understand stocks and what they do. I know I can. So maybe real estate may be a better choice for you. And if that's the case, I would love to help you to build wealth. Why not build some generational wealth, right? There's so many people making millions and billions of dollars of all kind of crazy stuff. Remember the internet era? Look how many millionaires came out from the internet era when everything was a .com. Why not do the same thing with real estate? It can be done. It can be done legally. You don't need to lose anything. You don't need to lose everything because people are scared of it. But if done the right way, you could definitely build your wealth through that. I thank you so much for listening. I'm going to be doing a few more videos on this topic. You could visit us at www.thegiffgroup.com or just give us a call, or our information should be below this video. I look forward to hearing from you and hear how you're going to be building wealth through real estate.
Introducing the Knock Home Swap, a new way to buy a house before selling your old one. Here's how it works. First, we get you approved for a new home loan. That way you can start making stronger offers on the houses you love. We'll even lend you the down payment on your new home so you can buy right away without worrying about your equity being tied up in your old house. Once you've bought your new home, we advance you up to 6 months of mortgage payments on the old house, so you never have to pay 2 mortgages at the same time. Finally, we offer you up to $25,000 in prepaid home prep funds, so you can sell your house for top dollar. And with a dedicated support team, we're there every step of the way to make sure your house sells as quickly as possible. We've spent a lot of time improving the real estate experience to give you more certainty, convenience, and cost savings. And we think that makes our home swap the best possible way to buy and sell a home. Find out more from your Knox certified agent today.